just want to do a quick video today. I thought I would do something more along the lines of what's been happening recently in my life. I wanted to talk a little bit about being a 4, type 4, and I'm a social 4 specifically in crisis, stress, and what that is like, and how very often that can resemble a type 6. So I know I was going to follow up with my type 3 video, if you haven't seen it, a couple videos ago, and but this was more prominent in my life, and I know I talk a lot about type 4 because I just like to give my perspective, and everything I try to share on the Enneagram is really what I observe in my life, first person perspective. So eventually I'm going to get to some other types, I promise, but this past week I was noticing some real stressors emerging out of me based on my social variant. So recently in my job I had a switch where I work a shift with a group of people, notably 2 other people, and one of the people decided to switch to an earlier shift, and we have a new person to join my shift, which is the later shift. And this switch in group has caused me a lot of stress. Like this past week, I was extremely stressed. I think I cried at least 3 times at work. Now, why is that? So the person who left my group is experienced, extremely intelligent. He's actually a 7-wing 6, very high energy. He and I get along very well. We work great together, and to think of not working with him anymore brought me a great deal of emotional duress. I was just like, how am I going to get through this without him? And the new person that we have in our group is not even fully trained. He's rather nervous, he's introverted, he's shy, he's withdrawn, probably, maybe he's a very awkward 5 or 9. I don't know his type yet, I don't know him very well, but he's very nervous and makes mistakes, and this sort of threw me into kind of a panic. So, right there with the social 4, losing my group and my structure was a great deal of stress to me. I literally was having nightmares every single night. I was sweating in my sleep. I was just having dreams of like drowning, and really strange. Is very hard. So when I was speaking with some individuals in the morning crew who had trained the new person on my set, I was told that he was just very inexperienced, very young, and that I would need to mother him. So I was going to have to take on this sort of one-on-one quality with him, like basically, as I'm a social self-pres 4, I was going to have to tap into my blind spot, the sexual blind spot, one-on-one. Again, stressing me out. So not only am I losing my group, I'm finding I'm going to have to go to my blind spot. Again, I'm starting to freak out and cry. I'm like, I don't know how to train this kid. I can't take him on. I'm not a mother. And it's sort of like, tapping into your non-dominant wing, but tapping into your blind spot is really hard. I know for me it's really hard. So I have some other videos. If you look back, I talk about finding my blind spot. That I realized I was social self-pres, and then I thought maybe I was social sexual, but then I realized no, that's not right. I'm social self-pres, and actually SX is my blind spot. So very often, it's something like I will see people in the hallway. I'll be like, oh shit, am I supposed to say something to them? Okay, hi. But if I see a group of people, I'm like, hey, what's up? Because it's sort of like you're more anonymous. It's not so much, on me. So, how I was seen like a 6 was when we got this new person. I was starting to imagine worst case scenarios. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to take on all these burdens. I'm going to be here forever. There's going to be so many mistakes. I'm going to get blamed for them. And my coworker, in my job, we talk a lot about the Enneagram. My type 2 coworker, she's a 2. And she says, are you sure you're not a 6? It was a joke. I was like, ha ha ha. Funny. Yeah, that's funny. No. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm acting like a 6. It doesn't help, though, that my other coworker, who's also on my shift, is a 9, and she's freaking out. So 9s go to 6, so she's going to 6. So she's doing the 6 shit. And then me, I'm absorbing her 6 shit. So we're all like fucking, like, you know, these hypochondriac 6s. Which, again, has manifested into my personal life, where I'm going, I hope I'm not sick. And then, you know, Trump getting COVID and all this, I go, oh god, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna die, you know what I mean? Oh my god. All I have to say, these past few days, I think I was really doing the whole kind of type 6-ish thing, 6 shit. I can't imagine what 6s go through. Oh man, let it go. So, another example. I was in stress. So what did I do? This is all in the past few days, okay? I went to 2, and I went around to all my coworkers and talked with them on emotional levels. So how do you feel? Tell me what you think. And we were talking like deeper things, and what do you feel about this, blah, 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 blah. One of my coworkers came along, and I said I was gonna like go out. I said, look, I need to take a walk. I need to get out of here. I need to just go take a walk for 20 minutes out by the trees. Coworker comes by, and she said, did you end up taking a walk? And I said, oh no, shit, I didn't. I was too busy talking to everybody. Literally, I went from person to person to person to person to group, like different people. I was constantly talking with people, like sort of needing a kind of emotional reassurance or something. It was strange. So I forgot to do the whole introspective thing because I was too busy going to 2, being stressed. I will say that when you are a 4 and you're sad, and you have someone in your life who's a 2, that 2 can be a great person to bond with. Like, I have this type 2 coworker, and I will say that when I'm sad and stressed, she and I bond very well. Because I go to her and I talk to her, and she, you know, 2 and the 4, and we just sit there, and I'm at 2, and she's probably at 4, and the two of us just blah, 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 blah. Like, we just hit it off. Yeah, like I said, I wrote notes here. I said, sad 4, your best friend is the 2. Literally, yeah, it is. And it's very sad because I have a video I did. Like, if you scroll through my videos, I talk about the type 7, and the coworker that I'm no longer with, he went to a different shift. He went in the morning shift. Is my 7-wing 6 coworker, and through knowing him, I learned a lot about the type 6. Like, I didn't know a lot about 6s until 7s. 7. He's 7-wing 6. Did I say 6-wing? Okay, never mind. My cat is scrolling. She's climbing the fence here. This is why I have wire. Anyone want to know why it's not that I want to be in jail? My cats would literally tear the screen with their claws. So that's why there's wire here. She's climbing right now. Okay, so my 7-wing 6 coworker, I was in mourning. I was gonna miss working with him. He's just confident, he's assertive, he's outgoing, he's very intelligent, his mind is multifaceted, he sees things from many different sides, he has a million hobbies, he's just a great guy. And I'm like, I don't want to be without him. And so I went to my boss and I started to cry, and I go, I'm really gonna miss my 7-wing 6. You know, I'd said his name. And she's just like, but now you'll build a new relationship with this new guy who's very stressed. And I was like, yay. So I felt like when I was with the 7-wing 6, I felt like he gave me something to absorb. Like, I could absorb his confidence. Whereas, like, with this new person, he's very stressed. And then I feel like I absorb his stress. I think the strongest feeling of stress for me during this time is that I think it's like going to the SX or something. It's like, it's losing the group, and then being forced into the SX, where I have to be sort of his guide, and he and I have to take on this sort of one-on-one relationship when I don't really know him. I have no problem talking to people one-on-one. I enjoy it very much, but it's after I know you. But when I'm forced into it and I don't know you, it's very hard for me. And so this is where I think that some of the confusion can be. I can't see how long of it. Oh, 10 minutes. Okay, I won't make this much longer. Where some of the confusion can be, where a social 4 can resemble a type 6. I'm not a 6. I'm not loyal to groups or causes. But I might do another video specifically going into the detail between the difference, to differentiate the two. I think it's fairly obvious. You can kind of tell someone who's a 4 versus a 6. 6s are the everyman. They don't like pretension. They don't like elitism. They want to sort of fit in. 6s gravitate towards people. 4s withdraw. 4s are not the everyman. 4s want to be different. They're very different. They're very different, 4s and 6s, but because they're reactive. Sometimes I think they can be confused, and I think the social 4 can take on somewhat 6-like tendencies. And I'll give you another example. So when I was frustrated at my job and I was sort of like looking to maybe apply elsewhere, I'd look online, and I was really scared to take on any kind of remote work, because I'm like, well, if I'm on remote work, I'm by myself, and what if I don't fully understand or, am given the proper guidelines on how to perform? I felt like, at least in terms of the beginning, I would like to go to an actual physical location, meet a bunch of people, and work in with a group of people where we could all kind of work together to accomplish what we want, at least initially. The whole working apart is fine for me. I don't mind that once I know my position within the role that I have. So I just found myself always thinking this. I'm like, oh, that's remote work. I can't, I'm afraid to take on remote work. Again, what if I get emailed all these assignments and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do. What do I do? So it's like, again, all that self-doubt that the 6 would have, I think the social 4 kind of feels as well, because we feel social 4s feel a sort of a confidence and a calming effect, knowing that there's a group also with you to go through this with you, or a commiseration. And I've noticed that with my work stress, I go to my coworkers and I'm like, look, we gotta commiserate, we all have each other's backs. It's sort of like, it seems 6-like, but I'm different than 6. I'm not a 6 because 6s don't trust easily. I actually trust too easily. And what I've talked about in one of my other videos, one of the things that 6s do versus 4s is that I knew a 6, unhealthy 6. Something would happen, and her thoughts, she would start to think and think and think and think and think, and over time, she would drive herself crazy with her thoughts, and she would make herself more upset. So eventually, she'd get the thought first, and the feelings would come through her thoughts. So like with me, I get the feeling first. Oh my God, the stress, I have to cry. Oh, I'm freaking out. Then the thoughts hit, 5 wing. Okay, how bad is this? Okay, you can get through this. Okay, logic, reason, is this so bad? Okay, you've been through these things, you can do it. You got this, you got this. 5 wing, extremely calming, to the point where then, after enough time of thinking, I feel better. That's the difference, like one of the many differences. Yeah, that's sort of how it works. So I just wanted to give a little bit updates, what I was going through, seeing my social variant in stress, losing my group, and being forced into my blind spot. I cried 3 times at work. And I had someone at my coworker who's a 1-wing 9 she's a 9-wing 1, say she was gonna do something. She said, I'm probably gonna be away during this time, and I started to cry. She's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. And my 2 coworker, she says, oh no, you just don't know her. This is what she does. It's not like she was trying to downplay it, but she's like, no, she just gets upset. You just gotta work with her. And it's so funny because it's like I have no problem sharing my sadness. I'm like, I'll just start crying. I'm like 44 years old and I still cry like a 20-year-old or a teenager. It's like nothing's changed. All right, so those are some observations. I'll have some more videos in time. I'm still working on my novella. I'm nearing the end. So if you haven't checked out my last video, I have a little poem I wrote within the book. And then I'll maybe share some excerpts once I complete it, which should be in the very, very close near future. Not to mention I thought of my next idea, which maybe I'll share in time or not. Maybe that's not a good idea. I should actually get through it first. So anyway, hope you're having a pleasant Saturday, and I'll be in touch next week. I'll have another video. Thank you for listening.